Sometimes a dream sells you a nightmare first. And beauty is deepest in a place you may never get out of. And the need to keep moving is the only thing left to carry. 250,000 humans last year walked for 4 deadly days through this, the Darien Gap. An untold number do not make it. A much, much bigger number do. And with every moment of success, resilience, and even cost and suffering, ever more come. The world may be on the move because of climate, conflict and corruption. But here is where the most of them are on foot. These are the stories of people from just 5 days. An endless trail in the jungle of pain, hope, loss and grit. Through the world's biggest hole in the fence. They gather under a glowering dusk, as if to say goodbye to their old lives, in the hope the dawn ahead is new, of a promise and an opportunity they have never known before.
El terror nocturno, ni saeta que vuele de día, ni pestilencia que ande en oscuridad. No tendremos miedo a bichos, no tendremos miedo a serpientes, culebras, alacranes.
But it's not a prayer that decides who'll make it, it's money. This is a large voluntary trafficking operation run by a drug cartel who control the route and are the law in this part of the Colombian border near Panama. You pay to get here, you pay to overnight here, you pay to walk on. There are just over 800 people in this camp in Acandi Seco, from Haiti, Venezuela, Ecuador, even China and India. The pandemic turned the tough into the unlivable for Manuel and his wife Tamara in Venezuela. We've changed people's names for their safety.
Ya por nuestro hermoso presidente nos obligó a la situación, la dictadura. Todo es gracias a ese señor que estamos llevando mierda. Es la idea, pues. Todo es nuestra familia. O sea, el motivo de este viaje y esta travesía es darle lo mejor a la familia de uno. Por eso también llevamos niños y no nos vamos solos, sino que de una. O sea, somos todos, no es nadie. Claro.
At dawn, the first thing that strikes you is how few of them seem to grasp what's coming. Gently packing crackers and tying sneakers, like waving a Kleenex at a storm. The second thing that strikes you is how organised the cartel want it to seem. They only walk when they're told to. The stories here are many, but there is only one goal: America. And the dream is just that, a reverie of hope, of conviction that they will be the ones to make it, over danger, disease, dehydration, deportation. About this number, every day, every year, almost doubling. The Darien Gap is the only land corridor from South America where entry is easier to its north, where it's not. There are no roads, only 66 miles of treacherous jungle from Colombia to Panama and onwards north, 3,000 miles to the US border. We walked the entire route of the Darien Gap over 5 days in February to document the suffering endured by people, milked for cash by cartels, unwanted by any country. What's startling is the sheer number of children on this trek as it begins on a route sometimes adults don't even survive. We heard Jean-Pierre's son, Louvain, coughing all last night. But still, they set out. Whatever is ahead, Haiti, its heat, hunger, and hellish chaos, is at least at their backs. There are the older two, 58-year-old Maria, a teacher from Venezuela, whose monthly salary of $16 can't feed anyone. So she and her daughter Yendri are headed to Houston, hopefully to relatives. We've only been going a matter of hours, and it just seems an endless series of river crossings. And the conditions are just constant water. Pretty exhausting. Manuel and Tamara, like many here, try to keep the kids going with treats. And then there are those whose jungle it is, the wildlife. One bite from this snake and you may never leave. The walk is organised as that makes more money. In fact, the cartel gave us permission to be here as if to parade that. These discarded colour-coded armbands show which day and route people have paid for. The football shirts are porters, each numbered, charging to carry bags, even children uphill. But it doesn't always work out. Wilson is separated from his parents. Their porter raced off ahead.
Je m'appelle Nick, enchanté. Donc vous êtes ici toute seule? Oui? Vous attendez votre parent? Ils sont où? Derrière, oui. Vous allez à l'Amérique? Vous allez où? À Miami. Qu'est-ce que vous aimez à Miami? Va faire une piscine. Pour vous? Oh. Qu'est-ce que vous voulez être quand vous serez très grand? Quel travail? À l'école? Oui.
Nearly 1,000 unaccompanied children were found on the route last year, the UN have said.
Tienen agua. Un tarro de agua y arriba tiene el valor de $5. Sé que muchos no tienen la plata para comprarlo. Entonces, más bien, arriesguense a llevar su galoncito de agua.
Leuven's cough is worse. He is now struggling to breathe at all. His fever peaking under the canopy. The first wave of exhaustion stumbles through the trees into this, called Laye, the first camp for the first night under the canopy. They are still chainsawing their way into the forest here. Cheap tents on freshly fallen trees. Chilled Gatorades for $4. Nothing stops the money here, tearing through nature in its way. The people are coming faster than they can make space for them. Their second dawn and the scale of the task ahead, the size of the crowd they are in these cramped spaces, becomes clear. Lines on the slopes.
Cuide sus niños, tráfico de personas, el cual su niño, cualquier amigo se lo puede llevar cualquiera y puede vender su órgano. Entonces, cuide sus hijos, no le dé sus hijos a extraños.
It's organised, isn't it? But this is probably where a lot of that stops as we start heading into Panama. The mist clings to the trees, making the climb feel steeper still. Some children embrace it all, bounding upwards playfully. Even in their socks, when the mud starts claiming shoes.
Ajá. No, con el otro.
Con el otro pie.
Con el otro. Con ese.
Dale la mano, papá.
Louvain is looking worse still. His father, too exhausted it seems to intervene, and already at this point really out of choices but to go forwards.
Here we go.
Others have come here with little but their will to move, propelled forward by knowing what is behind them.
Voy ahí, aquí tampoco, ajá. Me senté ahí cansada y ya desayuné. Para que nos siga dando fuerza. Claro. Dame agüita.
Delincuencia. Mucha mafia.
Ahora it's very dangerous.
Hay que pagar vacunas, todo.
And your university?
Personas que tienen su local.
What happened there?
It's hard. Lived with a lot of violence. I studied with two people that are killed.
This is the dry season, but still at times it feels impassable. And then the sky clears. This is the border at the summit, but from here on, they are on their own.